Hello, new listeners. My name is Bryce.
And my name is Chris.
Welcome to Balcony Conversations, the podcast where you can add a balcony to your home.
That's right. We'll be doing weekly episodes every Friday, having conversations on this very balcony.
On a balcony in Indianapolis, right. And we'll have weekly updates, personal stories, hot takes on popular topics.
My favorite, stock advice, financial decisions,
Cha-ching.
Questions with Emily, and then also much, much more.
Much more, Chris. So tune in every Friday to hear our beautiful voices on our brand new podcast,
Balcony Conversations. Balcony Conversations. It's on a balcony.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
This is ridiculous.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a
On
damn.
this very balcony.
on a balcony in Indianapolis.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's on a balcony. I need to get manicures or pedicures before I start. My foot's going to be in the camera.
That's why I put socks on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want that camera seeing your nasty, wherever your foot has been.
You're so right.
Where has it been, by the way?
Well, I was in my shower when I was dumping the shit I scraped off the walls.
Oh, the poop water.
Yeah.
I actually heard Emily, you're like, I'm going to dump this in the sink. She's like, the poop water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I put the sponge back where I originally got it too. Because
Yeah, we'll wash some dishes with that later.
I love the taste of shit, so it's
Me
going to be
too.
great.
It adds a nice seasoning.
It does.
Yeah, if you are watching the YouTube version of this, there is a wall behind this that had a nice gift from a bluebird. It tasted like a bluebird shit.
The way it looked, I think the yellow bird from Sesame Street just had a
Surprise,
heyday.
bitch.
Yeah.
Just he just has like a gun out of his anus that just shoots bird shit. That's what I feel like, dude. I parked on the other side. Like, if you check the balcony cam, we got our own little lot where we can park in the back by some nice view of a trash and an opioid medication center. It's actually closed on Sundays.
It is. We missed Rush.
Yeah, that's okay. But I parked on the other side the other day when I got off night shift, and because I had a spot right under a tree.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably imagine where this is going. A lot of gifts on my car. A lot of Big Bird really shot on that one.
You can see it from here.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, that nice little vibe over there next to that Nissan. What's it? A Nissan.
I don't want to say it's an Altima.
No,
I don't
it's
know what Emily's Nissan
I
is.
can't remember. I just passed it when I threw away the box.
But there's a Mazda 6 right beside the Vibe, and that's
we're all
mine.
next to each
Yeah,
other.
I know.
That's beautiful. Check out that cam.
I did that on purpose.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he cleaned off that bird shit. So how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's hot. I already got boob sweat. We just talked about how humid it was
Very hot out
outside,
here.
and we're in the shade and everything. But
Oh yeah. Okay, so you haven't seen The Room.
yeah, it's been forever.
So if you guys don't know, it's a bad movie meant to be entertaining because it's just so bad.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I'm in a therapy session. Yeah, the thoughts come at night and they don't go away until I masturbate. But
You too?
Oh, my therapist. That's exactly what I do.
Write that down. Write that down.
But so it's a movie that's supposed to be bad. But anyway, we need to get a set. So in the movie, he had the scene is like a rooftop somewhere in a city, and there's like a door, and the famous scene, I did not hit her.
Yes.
I did not, or whatever.
I remember.
That he walks out of there, and the James Franco movie they made, I can't remember, Disaster Artist, he apparently I can't remember the dude's name, but he made an exact replica of that rooftop in a Hollywood studio.
Oh my gosh.
And in the James Franco movie, they're like, why didn't you just like do it actually outside? He's like, this is Hollywood. Like, we need to do that. We need to get a balcony set inside that has a green screen. So when this goes places, we can just still do balcony, but not sit in 80-degree weather.
I would love that. We
Yeah.
can put it inside of your music studio.
And my music studio on the balcony too.
Yep.
Just have the worst audio ever. What's that sound they have? Oh, it's bird shit and outside ambience.
Exactly. I love it.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful 72 degrees in Indianapolis right now. We're looking...
I would love to hear the humidity side of it.
Yeah, I'll check that out. It's a high of 88 and a low of 70. We're actually at the high right now.
Perfect. It's 2:02 on the afternoon on Sunday, so
Yeah.
that would make complete sense.
Right. Air quality is pretty moderate. It's at 52. Not sure what that means, but that's 52
What's
AQI.
what's considered a good air quality?
I would have to say 100.
You think so?
I don't know. It seems bad.
So we're at 50% of what it should be at.
It's not a percentage. It's by AQI. Let me look up what the fuck AQI is.
I've never even heard of that
It's
either.
measured in AQI, not a Quib Talib. That's a.
And how do
football
you measure air quality?
Okay, so think of the AQI as a yardstick that runs from 0 to 500. The higher the AQI, the greater the level of air pollution. So 100 would not be good. Air quality is 200.
So you're telling me I'd have to wear my N95 mask even more?
Oh yeah, by the way, we're 6 feet away.
Oh yeah, I would say we're pretty close to 6 feet. It's a big balcony, and you
Yeah,
could
but
be
it
able to
says-
tell that on the camera.
Yeah, an AQI value of 50 or below represents good air quality. So we're on the average.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, but 59% humidity on us.
So
I can feel that.
I really can too. It is. It's unbelievable how just hot it feels.
Right, because it feels like 93.
Yep, it really does.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. But if you guys couldn't tell, we're on a balcony.
Yes.
If you're just listening.
Yep. And we'll go to the balcony cam right now.
Yep.
And we're
Not
back.
much going on.
No, it's
Yeah,
a quiet Sunday.
We're on a pretty. Yeah, it's a beautiful Sunday. We're on a pretty non-busy street. During the week, it gets pretty busy
It's
during rush
wild.
hour and stuff. But we're off a side road of a pretty busy road, so it's kind of perfect because we're gonna actually have a little poster up here behind me that has a shot board or a sit board that has like when a car horn goes off.
That's what I was
because
gonna
you're
say.
hear
Should we read through these? I
Go ahead.
can read through them. Okay.
ahead.
So in the drinking game, once we get the nice little decor set up, and right under the 5 o'clock somewhere sign, a car horn is 1 sip. Police sirens are 1 sip. A lawnmower is 1 sip. An airplane, which we just literally saw a couple minutes ago,
Yep.
would be 1 sip. Car crash is a shot. Weather is 69 is 1 sip, and then a Tesla is 1 shot.
Yep. So I said a Tesla is a shot because we're probably not going to see a lot of those. But for new listeners, we actually, quick backstory. I've had 2 podcasts. The first one went for a year, but the second one maybe went for like 6 weeks. Didn't work out. I ended up moving to Indy. We'll get into all that. But Chris actually has a podcast going right now, week 13, I believe.
Yeah, it was just posted.
Crazy.
Yep, 13 weeks in a row.
Do you want to just give a quick synopsis of your little journal podcast you got?
Yeah, so it's really crazy. It all really stemmed from an idea I had back in 2018, and I was just really big on journaling at that time.
Absolutely.
Yep, and the way it's kind of worked now was my idea process was like, well, instead of journaling how my week's going, why just not make that more of an audio file or format? So
Easy to listen to.
yeah, really easy to listen to. And the thing is I expect from that what I put out on my podcast not to really retain a lot of listeners just because it's like the little things. But for me, it's cool to be able to record that. So like say 5 or 6 years from now, I can go back and remember.
Exactly.
And the things I mean, it's a 30-minute podcast, and generally I'd say averages around close to 30 minutes. But the first thing I always talk about is just stats on the previous podcast. So that way reoccurring listeners know if it's growing or not, to be super transparent. I also talk about just my life in the last 7 days, or I guess the week. So
Sorry, I was turning to get my root beer and my neck cramped really bad, and I couldn't not make a sound.
no, you're fine.
But the cool thing about that is we have a pretty big vision, I'd say.
Oh, we have a massive vision.
And it's just cool to see the progression. It's like what's really interesting about it.
And that's exactly what I'm really striving for. Is just it's cool to know that, like, say I go back 6 weeks ago, I can open up that podcast and I talk exactly about what my week was like, what's happening, what I'm doing the weekend of. I'm also really heavy into stocks, so I talk about that, and then news. But it goes by between my week and stocks generally the longest, so I don't really talk too much about news. And then kind of just a social media call out at the end, really, and a follow up as a thanks. And
I think it's interesting too that the little things that happen during the week, like it seems so impactful during that week and at the time, but then like a week later you forget about it.
Yeah.
And like some of it's kind of character building, to be a little corny, but like that's why I like talking about it and recording it, because then you go back and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Like, that's funny. I got through that. That's funny.
It really is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, I look at it too as a lot like just a camera roll. Like you take that picture, you go back, I mean, like 3-4 years ago,
Exactly.
time hop, whatever kind of app you
Podcast
have.
memories.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I actually, I have an idea for Spotify, and you guys can steal this if you want, because I'd love it. you should have a Spotify or Apple Music memories. So a year ago, you heard this song for the first time. A year ago, you played this song 10 times when you first heard it.
Whoa.
Like, you know how Snapchat memories, Facebook memories, stuff like that. Like, you made this playlist 2 years ago because music and nostalgia go together so well. Like, it's beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
I love that shit.
I love that too. That is a great balcony conversation
That is
idea.
a great balcony conversation. But yeah, it's so ridiculous that we're out here, but it's perfect for conversations.
It really
is. You
is.
have conversations on a balcony.
Well, it's, you know, there's so much interaction and communication on a balcony. It reminds me a lot of, like, say, a campfire. You know what I mean, though? Like, it's just a place where you have a conversation.
I know. It's just. I'm laughing at the fact that we're out here. It's just so funny.
It is.
We need a fireplace conversations podcast.
Yeah. That's what we do. Like, maybe in the winter we buy like a small like fire kit or something. Could you imagine how many protocols would that break?
But listen, the apartment.
Yeah.
But think about it, dude. Like, that is ASMR. A fire crackling as we're talking about stocks and the weather. Okay, we're not only talking about stocks and the weather. We're going to talk about our lives and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're just, I think you and me are really good at coming up with just ridiculous ideas that could work.
Really?
We try them at least.
Well, and even think about it. Like, you literally moved in less than, well, it's been what, 7-8 days now?
8
you moved
days.
in last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
We already came up with this idea, and here we are, not even into a week, and we're already recording
That's
something.
what I love, dude.
Yep.
Just a quick turnaround with these things. And if it doesn't work out, like,
We
just
tried it.
Try something else.
Yep. On to the next sketch, next idea we have. Yeah.
Exactly. So have you ever seen Dan Blazarian without a beard?
I haven't, but I'm kind of scared too.
Dude, I'll pull it up. We'll put it on the screen. And I'm not trying to throw shade because he's a great, he's an entrepreneur. I don't know too much about him though, to be honest.
See, the thing, so I've listened to a podcast and they said that he is like, they say he's a big hoax. They say
I heard that too, actually.
They say he gets like he gets that mansion that he had, which apparently it's not his anymore. I guess he couldn't afford it or he got kicked out or something. But it's the same thing with like the yachts, the private planes. Like, he has billionaires like in that way.
Facade on social media.
Yeah,
Man.
yep. And it's funny too because even one of the guys I was listening to on a podcast was saying that he has friends that live in India and like they always ask if they know Dan because he lives in California too, because they're just like, do you know Dan? Do you know Dan?
What the hell?
Yeah, like everybody outside of the country, that's an American dude. Beard, women, guns.
That's
like,
the thing, the beard, dude. This is what blew me away. And Tiny Meat Gang podcast already talked about this, but I thought it was too interesting and how it kind of, you know him. He kind of has, like I said, he's an entrepreneur. And I've seen him a lot. I followed him on Instagram, and I actually just unfollowed him because it was just all models.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, his beard just gives him everything, dude. If you see him without a beard, if you just saw him walking on the street, you'd just be like, oh, okay. Like, that looks like a fucking 40-year-old man that goes back to his family that cooks burgers but hates his life or something.
I'm excited to see this.
But if you see Dan Blizzy walking with his nice beard, you're like, that dude's important.
Yeah,
it's just amazing. Check this out.
So, oh, what? Whoa. Wow.
Like it's nothing new that a beard, like someone with a beard and without, like, is just a night and day. But that, like, just made me, like, sit back and, like, oh my gosh.
He looks creepy without a beard.
Him without a beard is just a man.
Yeah.
Like, he already was just a man, but, he did a really good job of making himself look cool on Instagram, And I don't even know his backstory. I just know he comes off like he has a lot of money. He's important.
Yep.
But yeah, it's crazy what you can lie on the internet about, man.
Yeah, his lifestyle is very fascinating. I think like every guy strives kind of to be like that, but then like the more and more you kind of just get self-involved and like just look into it, it's just like I just don't know if I could do that every day.
I know.
And there's been like I've heard stories. Well, I haven't like personally heard like of people I know, but like a lot of people say in California, like his big parties, like he's not even present. Like he just hosts them, and then he has like people like film it to make it look crazy. But
I've heard that too with other celebrities. They'll throw parties at their house and they won't even be there.
Yeah,
like Justin Bieber does that a lot. I don't know. I feel like if I was in that position, I'd want to be at the party.
Me too. Yeah,
but I don't know. It could be a lot different. You know, you might not even be able to party, because you're Justin Bieber.
Well, and I mean that's the thing too, is like you take into when you are that such high of a public figure, and like people's cell phones, like video cameras,
if you
like
do something stupid,
yeah,
man.
you're like toast because you are all over the internet everywhere. So
that's the thing. Like back to like the vision we were talking about. I don't want to get famous. Like I don't want to get like popular. I guess we have to define, I guess, famous. I think famous is you intentionally wanted the fame, right?
Yep.
So like back in fucking media law, like a public figure is considered someone who willingly put themselves out in the public.
Yeah.
So that's why like someone with $7 billion isn't considered a public figure if you didn't like gloat it, you know, promote it. Like, you know, like you could just look up so many people that are billionaires and you have no idea who they are, and they're not considered public figures. But I think the people that intentionally want to become famous, want the attention and all that shit is famous. But then I guess popular is just your media, your creations. This is good. It sounds like it's getting louder out there.
Yeah. Traffic's picking up.
Yeah. I want a car to drive by, man. The sound effects is the big part of the podcast.
I know. It's okay, though.
But then popular is just like your stuff is well known and it's circulating, you know?
Yeah.
I would rather be popular than famous.
Exactly.
100%.
Well, and I think, too, like when I was younger, I was like, wanted to be so
It's a motorcycle.
Yep.
Hello, listeners. You hungry for some pizza? Pizza. Big slice of pizza. There's lunch deals. You can get a pizza delivered for your family or watching a football game with no crowd because COVID. But anyway, do you live in the downtown South Bend area and or around
Notre Dame?
Specifically the downtown South Bend area, there's a Bruno's Pizza. Bruno's delicious pizza.
Hot and ready.
If you want to look at what we got on the menu, we got brunospizzadowntown.com.
Yum.
Check it out. Website made by yours truly. Some pictures of the pizza looks delicious, dude.
Open up your laptop and look at
Thank you. There's a secret recipe that makes the pizza cheesy but flavorful. It looks great and it tastes great too, Chris.
Get their root beer.
It's so good. The breadsticks are good. Get some garlic knots on the side.
My mouth is watering.
Get a mug root beer. Oh, it's so good. It's right in downtown South Bend too, which is great for grabbing a quick pizza slice on the go.
I love pizza.
So you go to the library, get a nice book reading about, you know, how to pleasure your woman. On the way back, get a nice slice of pizza. Eat that pizza like you're gonna. I'm not gonna say that.
Eat it.
Eat your wife.
And then microwave it afterwards.
It's great warmed up. I bet. I can never not eat the whole thing. I always eat the entire pizza. It's so good. Just melts in your mouth. But anyway, brunospizzadowntown.com. You can get the website details. You can get the phone number
and breadsticks.
Where it's at. Pictures of breadsticks is a great gift
with cheese
of one of the workers buttering a breadstick. So if you want that in your camera roll, you say wings? I don't think they got wings. Damn. No wings. But anyway, Bruno's Pizza Downtown.com. That's BRUNOS Downtown.
Bruno's Downtown.
Bruno's Pizza Downtown.com. Check it out. Order a pizza. Look at it. Just look at it.
And a salad.
We do have salads.
Check it out.
But I was like, I wanted to be so famous, and just the thought of that sounded so cool, and being that way. But now that I'm older and like a lot more mature and kind of got a better understanding on things than when I was little, it's like I don't want to go to the store and like just get bombarded.
That sounds horrible.
Or I don't want to like have my family like go to an amusement park and like we can't even enjoy it because everyone's wanting to talk to me or like stop us.
That's the hidden side of that like people don't really know about or like think about it.
And that just does not sound fun at all. Like
I think it's right time, right place. So like a meet and greet. Say I'm an artist.
Yeah.
A meet and greet is the perfect place to hear people say, "You inspired me." Like that is like the biggest thing for me, at least with my stuff I create. Like, and I think you too, when people reach out and they're like, "Hey, I just wanted to say like this touched me in this way."
Here.
Your podcast smothered me. It took its hands and caressed my lower ankle up my calf.
Yes.
Tickled my knee. And
absolutely.
The inner thighs. coming up on exit. Pull off on the exit.
Now.
Crash. That's our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Add a balcony to your podcast, to your home with this balcony conversation. But yeah, like people reaching out. If you guys don't know, I make music under the name Nilla, and I've had like multiple people sometimes when I release a song say like, hey, like I really like this song. This part of it really like inspired me. This part really stuck out. Like that.
There's no better feeling. There's no better feeling than that. Yeah.
Like especially one of my sad songs. I had a girl from Ball State message me on Twitter like a few years ago, and she said like specifically what it did for her. Like, because since it was sad, she's like, hey, I just want to let you know, like these lyrics stuck out to me. It like really sounds like what I'm going through kind of thing, and it just really helped. And like that, and that's why I do it, because like I was once, or I still am on that side. I know both sides now, and I love seeing both sides, like making it and then also being inspired by, you know, bigger artists and stuff.
What I love that too, and that's like the one thing that like with my YouTube channel now is like sometimes I'm too like public. Like what I mean by that is like I record my weekend segments, I record who I'm with, what I'm doing. Same thing with my podcast, where I'm so just like open about everything and all of that. But a big push behind that is like I think so many people are kind of scared of what they'll view them or think of them. You know what I mean? So being able to kind of say, hey, it's not that bad, but just make sure that like you get what you're doing. Like, you know, like I'm putting myself out there, so the risk is that a lot more people are like, they get to hear more about my life if they like than what they should, I guess. But even though it's not bad, but
it's just so weird because like I'm a Gemini, and Geminis are known to have two sides, two personalities. And I think it's hilarious that like if I'm at work, say my last job, because now I work at Amazon night shift, my last job, you know, I it's not like I was shy, but you know, I wasn't being extra. I wasn't being like outgoing Bryce. Like I would be just in a room with you and Emily. But like then I'll show them music videos of my songs, and they're like, this is a whole other Bryce. Like I didn't even see. Like this is like you're bouncing to your car, like dancing. Like it's crazy what like this art. It just kind of opens up a new, not a new version of you, but it's cool to show people
exactly. Yeah.
A side that no one really sees.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's interesting shit on the balcony here.
That's what I'm saying, man. One conversation leads to another. Next thing you know, you're in deep.
Yeah. So, balcony cam check?
Oh, yeah. Balcony cam check. I noticed that there's some trash and some pillows behind that dumpster right there, so.
Yeah. Oh, and we got a nice resident walking out her trash. Very nice.
Perfect.
But yeah, like I said, I work for Amazon now. Just started there last Sunday, a week ago. I actually work tonight at 6:45, so I'm not looking forward to that. But I just think I've never worked night shift before, and it's just an experience, man. Like being awake at when you get off, or even like just walking to your car, because we have 3 breaks. The last break is at 2:40, so it's literally 2:40 in the morning. I'm walking to my car, and just being outside is just such a weird, it just feels different. Like, you know how, I don't know if you've ever camped or, you've been like out, like after being at a bar, like at Ball State, we walked home. It just felt different, right?
It's like dead.
Right. It's like
everyone's at home asleep.
You know, like a majority of the people are at where they live, not doing, like sleeping, resting.
Yes.
It's just so weird that I'm on the other side, and I don't know. It's interesting to be getting work done, because it's like I'm getting work done when no one else is.
Yes.
And it's weird, but then I go home and sleep when people work.
Yeah. The thing that like I think is just super fascinating about Amazon, sorry to change subjects. I always think this. So I don't know how deep you've looked into Jeff Bezos' story.
Not yet.
You haven't? Okay. But he obviously Amazon way back when, if you can remember, was just an online book company.
I do know. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, like this dude worked his ass off, was all by himself. Like there's records of him working in this shitty office space with Amazon spray painted on a cardboard cutout above his desk.
Really?
Yeah, he was bald, like just like
sounds like us, dude.
Yeah, seriously, it's crazy. And now to think that this dude is the wealthiest man in the world, more than the whole capital of like countries. Like, and think of all the people that work under him. Like,
so what? So he got famous for just doing something different, right? Or like he because like a mass warehouse that delivered to your home wasn't really a thing.
His biggest focus was the customer. He wanted to
That's
make
exactly when I got hired. It's always the customer happy.
That's it. It's always the customer. And he's like, the moment you can satisfy the customer is the moment you win. Like if you gain their trust and like fulfill their needs, you automatically win.
And that makes sense because they are like so on about priority and like on time. And like if you order a package and it says it's going to be here at this day, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be there on that time, on that day. You
Yes.
can track it. You're looking forward to it. Like just the whole, you're like pretty connected the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's so crazy and why he's such a brilliant man is because he started off small and then as he continued to receive capital, like money, he just started like acquiring other like industry sectors. So like I've talked about this before. It's like he has Twitch.
Just Twitch? Oh, because of
Amazon
the
owns
subs
Twitch.
or whatever.
Yeah.
What's it called? Not bits. Bits are genius too, but what's it called when you sub per month? Oh, Prime sub or
Yep,
something?
yeah.
Yeah, that's so genius. Dude.
Yeah, but he acquired Twitch. He now has Amazon Logistics, which they tackle UPS, FedEx, the Postal Service. He has Alexa, which is in competing with the Google Home. He has he just bought Whole Foods. This was a few years ago, but that's now officially overtaking like Walmart and other retail spots. Like he just, every time he gets a certain amount of money, he just buys like into another industry to like continue to expand and grow. And it's so adaptable. And that's how you continue to just like, that's why everything's just becoming Amazon. Like he thinks so much faster and so much smarter than what, like, I don't know if you remember or not, but there was rumors that he was wanting to buy AMC.
Are you kidding me?
No.
What's going to happen to AMC?
Man, I don't know. See, I keep thinking that they're going to go under, but I just think Hollywood would refuse because that would destroy the whole...
That's the thing, because in media law, we learned about how money works with movies and stuff, like how much the movie pays the movie theater and stuff. So they already have like a business where it kind of works, but like how is our movie theaters going to make money? Especially now how like everything's closed.
Well, and the thing is too, is like, which you know, but media, any type of media, whether it be like movie, audio, whatever, is one of our biggest exports, like globally. So like, even though, yeah, you know, movies might flop here or there in the United States and other countries, like they do very well.
I'm just thinking like, I forgot who said it, but it was like people that have been, that was bird shit. People that have been quarantining has been streaming everything, you know, movies, and I've even seen like now there's a lot of streaming services that have available movies that are still in theaters, right? So like, what if they just adapted to a new movie will just come out on a streaming service instead?
Well, and yeah, I mean, you think theoretically that would work and that's how everybody want it, but you still can't take away the fact of going to like an opening night for like a big film, being in a room with everyone in similar interests, wanting to watch that same movie.
I'm just thinking like, that's a hornet.
Oh boy.
That's scary.
That is I would not look at that.
All right, I'm gonna act like that's not here.
I'm going to act like I didn't crawl in the door. Okay.
Oh God, right behind me. All right.
You're staying there.
I got the sticky root beer too. But I'm just thinking like once the boomers, unfortunately, you know, are the generation kind of evolves into like us, like how we're gonna be like mainly, and then it's just the new generation.
Yep.
I feel like we could just grew up on technology, like, and there's like a study that people have social anxiety more now, like in our generation compared to boomers and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like our generation is gonna want to stay home in their own bed and watch a new movie instead. So once the old people that are like, no, you can't take away the classic widescreen, you know, with the popcorn and the candy bars, you're gonna take away my candy bars?
Yeah. Not my candy bars.
Well, I need an almond joy while I watch Titanic. I need buttery popcorn while I just looked and forgot we were on a balcony, and I'm like, anybody like walking by could hear me doing whatever accent that old man.
That's so funny. Yeah. They're
Don't
like,
take away my candy bar.
who lives up on the third floor? My God.
They got like a whole family. They got an Australian. They got
An old man.
an old man that doesn't want the movie theaters away.
Well, and I think the thing is too that I think we forgot to even mention is that, movie theaters, they only make a sliver of ticket sales. Most
Barely
of
anything.
their money comes from the concession stand, so that's who Hollywood's receiving.
Candy bar, bro. It's insane.
That's what, yeah.
But then, once again, like, I think boomers don't really do the thing where they bring in Twizzlers in their pocket. That's more of the younger generation that, like, fuck yeah, let's bring a trench coat full of Reese's and fucking
Some sodas.
spaghetti. Yeah,
Yeah.
just anything you want to watch while you're
I
eating.
love a
them,
bag of spaghetti
watching-
to go. That's
Have
great.
you ever seen it?
Was that dry?
Yep. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Charlie brings a bag of spaghetti in the movie theater. Yeah, like I feel like younger people do that, and they're part of the same population that doesn't even. Why don't I just go to a gas station 2 miles away, spend $5 on candy, come home and watch a movie that just came out that I spend $7.99 a month on,
Mm-hmm. No, that's true.
instead of buying $10 candy, a $15 ticket each, and you have to drive like a distance depending on where the movie theater is. I don't know. It just seems like theoretically it's just eventually going to just die.
And that's, I agree with you. And that's what's kind of sad is because like we live in a generation where like everything is just so easy now. No one has to try anymore. As long as you get like some type of like revenue coming in, you can just stay in your house and like you can get food delivered to you, you can get your groceries delivered to you, you can get your streaming services. Like you don't have to do anything,
It's kind of bad.
which is really bad. But at the same time, that leaves a huge, massive opportunity for people like us out there who can just simply do stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah, right? So it's like,
Because we couldn't ever do this 10, 15 years
oh,
ago.
hell no. We'd have to be doing a balcony on like a skyscraper because all that room for the computer and everything, all the equipment.
Well, I'm just thinking like uploading media to like Spotify and Apple Podcasts was like so hard to do. Like now there's so many services that just host your podcast for you. And
Well, how familiar are you with back in the day? Like, did you have to...
back in the day, candy bars were sold at movie theaters.
But like with iTunes, because before Apple Music, it was iTunes. Did you have to be signed on a record label to get onto, like, do you know?
So from my knowledge, the way I post music to Spotify and Apple Music and stuff is you have to get a personal, for like layman's terms, like a mini record label for yourself.
Okay.
So you have your own LLC,
Oh.
but it's owned by fucking DistroKid and
So there's a lot of third-party sites that have these fake not fake, but I mean like where you get an LLC as a record label.
right. It's like you have to. Yes, it's just so easy now to do that. Yeah, but before the record labels, I'm assuming were doing that. You know, paying either a service to make it or they had their own LLC, and I don't know. But now it's just it's so easy. Like,
wow.
right.
And I always go back and think of Russ, how he's been like so like transparent about a lot of that, like how the fact that he just uploads it on these sites gets these streams per streams like 0.001 cent.
Yeah.
So you get hundreds of thousands of cents. You're like up on $1,000.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what's so cool is like even though like everything's so accessible and easy and you don't really have to try, I think for people like us who are very, open-minded and like really want to kind of better ourselves, options are like limitless.
That's the beautiful thing. It's it's a good and bad thing. It's good because it's gonna get the accessibility so easy now that it's gonna get flooded with just all sorts of different types of content, good and bad. So it's gonna be hard to sift through it. Like 20 years ago, if we were doing this and there was only, 50 podcasts, because I don't even know when podcasts started, but if we did a balcony conversation podcast in like mixed with NPR and fucking Joe Rogan and shit like that, like we probably get noticed a lot easier
Absolutely.
because it's not
Less competition.
exactly. So it's good and bad.
It's funny though we say that too about just how things are changing because this one podcast I was listening to, they're talking about how like in high school, like imagine, back in high school what it was like. Like it was like the cool kids were the athletes. right? Like, think now, like, they're saying, like, the cool kids are, like, the people who can dance the best and have the most TikTok followers.
I know. It's weird.
Like, it's not the athletes anymore. No one wants an athlete. They want somebody who can go viral.
It's weird because everyone wants to be famous now.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to have a name. Everyone wants to brand themselves. And that's why it's so hard to brand yourself, because there's so many other people doing it now.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so much competition in the space. And that's kind of where I was at too when I was younger. I think that's everybody's motive. Like, oh man, it'd be so cool to be like viral and like famous and like all that. But then as you get older,
I thought that too, man.
Yep.
I had a video on YouTube I posted when I was like in, I want to say 8th grade. Have you ever heard of Pinnacle, the video editor?
Yeah.
Yep. I think I got it at Walmart or some shit for like $100, but it was a Pinnacle video editor. And I figured out how to do effects or something, like where there's 10 of me on the screen, or like a wave, or like the picture-in-picture shit and stuff like that. So I thought it was so cool. So I uploaded to YouTube like a 2-minute video of me doing that. And I look like an absolute fool, dude. And the effects are so bad because I like was sitting there like, and whenever time I clapped, an effect would go. And then I would it might still be on there unless I deleted it because I was embarrassed. But I got like 20,000 views on it.
Damn.
Because I had Pinnacle Video Editor 13 special effects, like all those like buzzwords and stuff. But I thought I was the coolest fucking kid in the world.
Well, that was like one thing when I was in high school at the time. This was when PewDiePie was like blowing up, but not like where he is now, not now. But he was big into Amnesia. So it was a horror game.
Yep.
Yeah. And he was always getting these like game maps on Amnesia somehow, and there was no way I could figure out how to do it. So I did like a lot of deep diving. Like I was like reading stuff online because I was on Mac, he's on Windows.
Oh, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. So I figured it out. I made a tutorial online, uploaded to YouTube. I think now it has over 50,000 views.
No way. Isn't that fucking cool?
Yeah, but now it doesn't do it. It works properly because every time I've got on there, like a lot of people have recently commented saying it doesn't work anymore like this.
It's still so cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all my comments were like, "This dude looks like an idiot," and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, a lot of mine were all really positive, but the most recent ones within the last few years have been like. So I still left it up though, but it was like, wow,
so
that's
cool, dude.
That's really neat. But
yeah, that's what we do it for, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the views, but just you help people, and just cool interaction.
It is super cool.
But yeah, I hate to cut off the balcony conversation, but we're at 32 minutes right now.
Damn,
Yeah,
that went quick.
Yeah, it's.
We didn't even really talk about what we're gonna do.
We have plenty of stuff. Yeah. Well, I actually have an idea. We'll cut it and then we'll do an intro.
Yeah.
And we have to do the ad read too.
That's right.
Yep. So, thanks guys for tuning in to the pilot episode of Balcony Conversations.
Yep. This would be the first episode then.
Hopefully we have some more interactions outside. We didn't have many cars or anything.
Well, what we might have to consider doing too is it's Sunday. Maybe we just record on like a Tuesday or Thursday.
Yeah. Oh,
that way we're both at the apartment for now, and we can do it either in the morning or later in the evening around 5.
That'd be perfect because you work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So we'll fit in a time. I mean, if it's 30 minutes, I can do it during my lunch or whatnot. I can take lunch, but...
Yep, and as of right now, every Friday starting... Let's check the chart.
The 14th, which is this Friday before we go to Nashville.
August 14th. Yep, so tune in next week if you guys want to hear again. This is the pilot.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Love you.